For this lesson, we'll be subtracting fractions. Our first example says subtract the following fractions: 5/9 minus 2/9. Well, these two fractions both have the same denominator of 9, which means they're ready to subtract right now. We know our final answer is going to have an answer of 9 in the denominator, and we'll subtract the two numerators, so 5 minus 2 equals 3. So 3/9 is our answer. But 3/9 is a fraction that can be reduced. Whenever the numerator and denominator both can be divided evenly by the same number, then we can reduce them. So for instance, if 3 can be divided by 3 and 9 can be divided by 3, so 3 divided by 3 equals 1, and 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So that means that 1/3 is the final answer in reduced form for 5/9 minus 2/9. Our second example, we're going to subtract the following fractions: 5/6 minus 3/4. Well, this example is different from our first one because we do not have the same denominator, so we have to find the least common denominator between them. Now, once again, if you remember from the addition of fractions lesson, we could multiply 6 times 4 and get 24, but there's actually a number that is a lower common multiple between 6 and 4. The least common multiple between the two of them would be 12, because 6 times 2 equals 12, and 4 times 3 equals 12. And obviously 12 is lower than 24. So, we know that our final answer, at least initially, is going to have a denominator of 12. Well, remember, whenever you change the denominator, you also have to convert the numerator. So for 6, we multiplied it by 2, so we have to multiply 5 by 2, and that's going to get us 10. And for 4, we had to multiply it by 3 to get 12, so that means I'll have to multiply 3 times 3 to get 9. So 10 over 12 minus 9 over 12, our final answer is going to have a denominator of 12. 10 minus 9 equals 1. And that's our final answer, 1 over 12. In our last example, now we have a whole number of 4, and we're trying to subtract 5/7 from it. Well, you might remember that's kind of difficult to subtract a fraction from a whole number. So it makes sense for us to convert that whole number actually into a fraction simply by putting a 1 underneath it. So 4 over 1 minus 5 over 7. Well, then we have two denominators to think about, a 1 and a 7. All right, so 7 is going to be the least common denominator between the two of them. So for our first one, we had to multiply 1 by 7 to get the denominator of 7, and that means we're going to have to multiply this 4 by 7, and that gets us 28. And the second one can just stay the same because it already has a denominator of 7. So 28 over 7 minus 5 over 7. Well, once again, our denominator 7 will stay the same. 28 minus 5 is 23. So we can leave our final answer, if it's okay to leave it as an improper fraction, 23 over 7. Or if we want to change it to a mixed number, we would simply divide 7 into 23. Well, that fits in 3 times. All right, so 3 times 7 equals 21. So then there's 2 left over. So that answer, if we wrote it as a mixed number, would be 3 2/7.